Welcome to Legacy Lounge, the podcast where you'll discover how to lead with purpose and build a legacy that matters. So if you're ready to step into your full potential, show up authentically for yourself and others, and create a lasting impact on the world, you're in the right place. Let's begin. Gallup just released data that honestly floored me. Leaders are using AI at nearly double the rate of their teams. They estimated that 69% of leaders that are using AI regularly compared to just 40% of the individual contributors. And here is what is wild to me, is that gap is continuing to widen, not close. And as someone who used to lead over 2,000 team members in a district territory for Target, this immediately raised the question, are we creating magnetic cultures where innovation spreads? Or are we hoarding the tools that could make our teams even more effective? In this article that Gallup published, 69% of leaders versus 40% of individual contributors are utilizing AI. That gap has grown since 2023. Obviously, the AI boom this year comes into play here, but there is a total lack of unity. People don't all see how AI helps them. Remote capability roles use AI 2 times more than non-remote roles. Here's where this is a problem with magnetic leadership and what this tells me about culture inside of corporations. When leaders adopt tools, but they don't bring their teams along with them, that's not fostering a magnetic culture. We're building a divided one. The excuse I keep hearing is that my team isn't tech savvy or AI doesn't apply to our work. But Gallup's data shows that that's actually not true. The gap isn't about capability, it's about leadership. So I'm going to present some info from that article, and it breaks down 3 ways that this shows up. 1 is that leaders solve their own problems first. We use AI for our presentations, our emails, our strategies, but we're not asking, how could this help my frontline team? 2 is that we assume lack of unity means the tool doesn't work. But it actually means that we haven't gone slow enough to show them how it works and how it works specific to their role. 3 is that we measure adoption rate, not impact rate. 38% of organizations have integrated AI. But what does that even mean if half of your workforce never uses it? This is where the dinner table conversation comes into play. So let me connect the dots here for us. Tonight, when your team goes home, what are they going to say about you as their leader? Option A. My boss uses all these fancy AI tools, but expects me to just do everything manually. They'll never get my job. Or option B. My boss showed me how to use this AI tool that actually saved me 2 hours a week of report pulling. I feel like they actually care about making my job easier. Magnetic leadership means that you bring your team with you into innovation. You don't bring it in ahead of them. So here's what this looks like from a practical application standpoint and for knowledge. Don't just use AI for yourself. Show your team how it applies to their repetitive tasks, not just your own. For the frontline leaders, retail, manufacturing, healthcare, Gallup shows that these are the lowest adoption rates as an industry. But AI can help with scheduling, inventory, and patient notes, depending on your industry you're in. The question is, are you exploring what those options look like for your team, or are you doing it just for yourself? For the remote and hybrid teams, your remote workers are already 2 times more likely to use AI. But are you creating equity for your on-site team? Or are you just supporting to widen that gap? Because Gallup's data is crystal clear to me. The AI leadership gap is real and it is growing. But here's what I do know from building magnetic teams in the past. Innovation doesn't trickle down through the org chart. It spreads through the leaders who actively bring their people along for the journey. So my challenge this week is to ask one team member, what's the most repetitive part of your job? And then explore together how AI might support them. Give them a baseline to go off of, to edit, to critique, to finesse. But regardless, give them time back. It's a tool. And not because you need them to be an AI expert, but magnetic leaders don't just hoard tools that work. They share them. They teach their team how to utilize them. I'm going to link the full Gallup article below in the show notes for you to check it out on your own. But for now, I'm Brin'na Rollins-Williams, and I'll catch you next week. That's it for this episode of Legacy Lounge, a podcast dedicated to empowering you to lead with purpose. Remember, leadership begins with you. When you're connected to your values, strengths, and authentic self, you show up powerfully for your team, businesses, and everyone you lead. To authentically lead others, you must first lead yourself. I challenge you to consider, how are you investing in your personal growth to create a legacy that you envision? Thank you for joining me in the Legacy Lounge. If this episode sparked any thoughts or inspired action, I'd love to hear from you. I'm your host, Brin'na Rollins-Williams. Connect with me on LinkedIn or other socials, and let's continue the conversation. Remember, your legacy is built one intentional step at a time.